A 1 2, a 1 2. Yes, yes. Mic check 1 2. Yes, yes, crew. How we feeling? I think we're live right now. I'm not certain, but I think it's currently live. Yes, everything is coming through. Everything is looking sweet and fine as a dandy. Welcome back to another stream. This is sort of like the first stream of a few different things that I want to do to sort of maybe try and get this channel sort of boosting and sort of going a little bit again. So what I thought I'd do in sort of like today's stream is I want to talk to you and show you through the program that I'm currently using at the moment to make my music and make my beats. Now, this program, FL Studio, is a massive program, and some of the top producers actually use this program, and songs that you probably even listen to in, say, like the UK Top 40, or maybe you go to a nightclub and a DJ drops a tune in. There is probably somewhere out there a time where you've been in a nightclub or you've listened to the radio where a song has come on that has been made through this software. So I thought what I'd do in today's stream is I would sort of talk about this program a little bit from my point of view as an up-and-coming producer, some of the features that I like and some of the things that I use, and just talk genuinely about the program itself and what the program can do. So FL Studio, for those of you who don't really follow anything musically wise, or maybe you're not musically orientated yourself, FL Studio is just basically a program for making music. So like I say, if you are like a music producer, this is just a program where you can just basically make a song, put a song together. Now, this program is not free. However, there is ways and means upon the internet to be able to crack and get a full version. The only sort of, I would say, sort of issue with that is you are still limited to some of the things you can do, like you can't update to newer versions, and sometimes if you are working between or with somebody that maybe does have the full regular bought version and they've downloaded a newer update than yours, if they're sending you something back, you won't be able to open it in this program because you're on an older version, and without obviously upgrading to the newer version, you obviously can't do anything, with that project, and you can't upgrade to the newer version because it's a cracked version. So unless the website sort of brings out a crack to download an FL Studio with that sort of newer update, you are sort of screwed, if that makes sense. And that's not me trying to put people off, but nevertheless, you can still do a lot of things with the cracked version, and I won't lie, that is the version that I'm running off at the moment. So when you do, as a matter of fact, load up your FL, well, when you load it up for the very first time, there'll be like a project template, so there'll be like a song that FL Studio have already made that you can just play and listen to, and everything will be all sort of, put together for you. So you can just have a listen. But then what I normally do is you can click File, and you just basically go to the new basic with limiter, and that'll just open up a new brand new blank project, and you'll be created with this. So at the top we've got like the file, which is where you can save and export the project. You can edit and undo, so if you're like playing around with something, or say you play a few piano notes and it goes wrong, you can just sort of undo, and then obviously it'll just undo what you've just basically done. Or then if you realize actually I want to redo that, you can click redo, if that makes sense. We've also got add, so you can add different things, different effects and stuff. So here's like some effects. that you can just add in and stuff like that. We've got for your different patterns. We've got view options, which we'll talk about these options a little bit later on. There's like help and tools. So over to the left, over to the right, sorry, you've got the play and the pause button. So currently this is selected on part. So for example, so if you're writing a piano and you're on part, this will only play the piano on its own. So if you're writing the piano itself, you can just essentially hear the piano on its own without hearing any other part of the track. And then obviously if you want to hear the whole track, you just tap down here and it'll change it to the song, and that'll just basically play here, but obviously there's nothing on it, and you can see that it's just going through a little loop because there's nothing there. There's a record button. I've never actually used this. I'm not fully sure what it does. You can watch other videos about FL and it'll go into more detail than what I will go through. I'm just sort of talking from basic experience. Over here we've got the project tempo. So obviously if you're coming onto FL and you're thinking, right, I'm going to make a UK hardcore song, you can obviously pitch this up to 170. And then basically whatever speed you put this up to, the song will play at that speed. And I think you can go like right up into the 200s. I'm not entirely sure what the limit is, but you can actually go up to 300 BPM, which is quite a crazy thing. I'm not gonna lie. You can go all the way down to 10 beats per minute, which would be like mega slow. But when you do load up FL for the first time, you will always be greeted with that 130 beats per minute. It always starts at 130 beats per minute. We've got different buttons here. I'm not too sure what some of these do. Like I say, I've never really had to use them. I know one of them gives you that like clicking sound, so you can check if something's in beat. I do forget what it's called, but it makes that like that's like the only way I can describe it. Here we've got line and cell, so you can choose like when you're sort of like placing stuff down, like do you want it to sort of place like that? Do you want it to leave a gap? That kind of thing. Same with notes, how you place the notes as well. You can change that as well. We've got pattern 1, and all your patterns are essentially just your different tracks. So for example, on this pattern here, pattern 1 you might have a kick, and then on pattern 2 you might have a clap. So for example, I'd maybe put the kick here, and then I'd put like a clap here, and then my next sort of sound here. It just sort of varies really on sort of what you want to do. This will just get rid of that. This will open up the piano roll. So when you are greeted with FL, you'll have some basic instruments or sounds that are already put in for you just by FL. So at the moment, you can see here it says kick. So this will just play different kicks, but obviously you can change this and you can put a piano in. But for example, what we could do is we could write a simple kick here that would go like on the beat. So there's our little kick beat. But obviously you could change that to piano as well. This is our little channel rack. So if you don't want to use the piano roll to write a kick, you can just highlight these squares as well, and this will oh, hang on, I think I might have my bad. I have done something wrong here. I think, am I actually getting this wrong on stream? I think I actually am. But essentially, you get the point. It can make the kick as well. it can make the kick. Like that. You know, you get the point. And then this one here, this brings up the mixer. So this is where you would essentially assign everything to. So when you've wrote your kick out, you would assign it to, say, this channel, and then this channel here, this would control the mixer for the kick. So, you know, you could make it quieter, you can make it louder, you can put effects on it. You know, you can do a whole variety of different things with it, EQ it, blah blah blah, which EQing and stuff like that is a little bit more advanced for people who are just starting. And then this button here, this just essentially makes this whole thing bigger and makes the other bit smaller. Here, I think, if I'm right in saying, yeah, this brings up just another way, so all the different channels, look, kick, clap, snare, patterns, etc. You can start a new pattern. I've never clicked it that way, to be honest. I normally just make a new pattern from here, but if we click this one, I don't know what this one does. Oh, this one brings up loads of essentially loads of, oh, not that one. This one just brings up loads of different, look at these different effects, look, FL Studio, that's like a mobile version, FL Keys, piano, Bob Bass, you know, loads of different effects. Look, we've got a Citrus Synth Classic, loads of different sounds. You know, I don't even know what some of them do, but they, you know, they create good sounds. We've got a Harmor, we've got a Harmless, loads of different sounds, samplers, piano sounds and stuff, and these all come in FL, you know, themselves. These are all in FL already, you know, without you having to physically buy, say, an extra plugin, for example, which is quite good. And some of them actually sound alright. You can get away with using some of them. Some of the sounds there, they do sound a little bit, you know, like not too good. Like, you know, sometimes buying one, or buying, you know, sort of like a, you know, one off the internet or something, you know, can sound a bit better, and it will make your tracks definitely sound better, and stuff like that. And then, like I say, I'm not too sure what these do. I think, is this might be, oh, this just loads up the internet. You won't see that, but I do. And then as for up here as well, you can, there's different microphone settings. This is like another way to save your project. So if you tap that, you can save the project. You can do a quick save and stuff like that, which is quite a good thing to note. This here, where my little hand is, this is the time of the track. So when you're playing the tune, this will tell you sort of how long the tune's been going on for. And this down here, this is the main project, where you would obviously create everything. And so, you know, this is where you'd sort of put the track together. So if we move down here, this is where all of our samples are. Now, obviously, I've got sample packs, so I've loaded sample packs in. Now, the way to do this is you download a sample pack offline, or for example you buy one, and essentially you go to options and you go to file settings, and where these little folder icons are that you essentially see down here, you just basically tap the little folder and you just go to wherever you downloaded the sort of the sample pack to. So for example, if you just was lazy and you put it in downloads, you'd go to the download folder, you'd find the sample pack itself, you'd click on it and you'd click OK, and then the sample pack would just appear down the side here. And you can add up to about as many as these, I think, which do quite a few decent sample packs. And you can get some free ones you can get some free demos as well that are sometimes good. You know, they just give you a few free sounds if you haven't got the money to buy anything. And then essentially you can just tap on a sample pack and obviously you can see there it just, you know, it'll play the samples for you. So if I, for example, donk samples, all these different donk sounds. Again, Slipmatt and Billy Bunter. Some of them you get more in them than others. So this one you get like kicks, effects. For example, this one here, there's all these different basses, look. Break beats. So there's all these different sounds, and this is just essentially where you would sort of change the sound. So for example, so let's say we're going to make a donk tune. So obviously for starters, what I do is I put the tempo up to 150, because that's what I like to produce my bounce at. A few people do like 146, or some people do 140. Some people like their donk a little bit quicker. I just like going to the simple 150. So we go to so I'm gonna go off to Scouse House Volume 1. We've got we've got drums. So drums and then kicks. We've got some kicks here, so we'd find a kick that we want. So this one I quite like, and then what I'd do is I'd just drag it to here, and then essentially I'd just go like that. Let me just... So there, like that. Which has given us that simple kick, and then what I'd do is I'd drag this along to 16. Well, I'll go to 15, and then if we play it, oh, sorry, I did that wrong. I have actually really messed this up, haven't I? How am I getting the kick so wrong? It's because I normally do it in the piano roll. Oh, I've knocked that record button. So that's gonna... Yes, I know where I've been going wrong. Ignore me. I don't know why. Do you know what? There is something. There is something wrong. Right, I'm going to go into the piano roll. Because, hang on, it's still... Yeah, right. I'm going to go into the piano roll because... Just... That's better. Already. So we'll go up to there to 15, and then if we play it, see, like that. And then I'd just go on, build the track from there. So for example, claps. So I'll replace the clap, and then what I'll do is with the clap. So for example, so what we've got to do here is we've got to go clap. So we'll type that in, we'll call it clap. So this will obviously put it onto a new pattern, so we're not on the same pattern as the kick. Otherwise the clap and the kick would just essentially play at on the same channel essentially. So you wouldn't have no control either the kick or the clap. It would be controlling them both. So probably like this, I think, is how we'd do our claps, and then we'll just drag them along nicely underneath. To be honest, I'm gonna change that just ever so slightly. I think. Right. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Right. Yeah, so we'd have a clap like that, and then we'd go again. So now we're going to have some hats. So we'll get some hi-hats in. So let's just, for example, sneers, no, cymbals. hi-hats, so open, so we'll put that there where it says hat. You don't have to put them here. I just tend to replace, with what the FL ones are put in. This one I will do like this though, because it'll sound nice. So again, we'll drag it along, and then it should start sounding like. And now you can see already there's like already a tune there that's like starting to obviously build up. So obviously upon from hats we can add in our rides. So we'll just create another pattern, call it ride, and it's all about creating these patterns. Everything is all about obviously creating these patterns. So we'll just get rid of the sneer, and we'll just put a ride there. It doesn't matter that we've got rid of the sneer because we can add our own in later on. And if we had have put the sneer in now, we would have just replaced that one anyway, if that makes sense. So we'll just add a few rides in as well. So we'll have our rides, so it'll go like. So already it's starting to sound quite good. Sometimes what I like to do as well is I like to add a delayed snare. So the snare won't come in until the bass comes in, and it will come in a little bit delayed, and it sometimes just sounds quite nice. We can add some like percussion loops as well if we want, like. So like we could just put this on here. So again with these, because it's already a loop, we can just drag them in, and then we don't actually have to worry about we don't have to sort of add them into the channel rack as such, because we don't have to make the notes ourselves. It's already there for us, but it'll. You see how that's already starting to sort of fill up. So what I sometimes like to do, I think, so if we go, so listen, so just get rid of the kick right there, and then what we can actually do, so from here, if I go on to effects, we can add sweeps. So if we have like we can add a sweep up. So if we go like to here, so for example, we could have that sweep up, or let's put a few in and we'll see which one we like. So we can just sort of drag them like this and see which ones are gonna look the best and sound the best. So obviously that one's a shorter one. That one's, again, it's a little bit shorter. So what we'll do is we'll highlight, we'll basically mute all of these channels, and we'll. So for me, this one's coming in a little bit too late for what I like. So let's. So for me at the moment, that is good, but it's a little loud. So I'm just going to turn it down here for now. When I get them all assigned to the mixer, I'll adjust the volumes properly. And then essentially, after here, this is, so we're going to keep this one. So essentially after here, this is where the bass had now come in. So everything we've just done here would repeat again, but this is where our bass had come in. And we can do a variety of different things. We can have maybe like a vocal start, we can have like a vocal effect, or we can maybe take like, I don't know, maybe like just two words out of a rap tune, like rock the body, rock the body, rock the body. We could do a few different things, but what we're going to do first is we're going to add a little fill, so we can put a little fill in. So just after it's about to drop, well, just before it's about to drop, it'll go, and then it'll essentially go into the kicks and the bass. So what we're going to do is we're going to, I'm going to go here, we're going to Control C, and then we're going to Control V, which is just essentially going to copy everything just here, just like that. So that's everything just there. And now what we're going to do is we're going to add our bass in. So obviously I've not EQ'd everything. This is just me from the basics point of view. You know, when I started out, obviously I do a few more technical things now as I'm starting to learn. But you know, so I kind of like that donk free. Now there is no bass. There's no bass sound whatsoever that was already given to us. So we're going to drag this in ourselves just down here, and it'll make a new channel. And then essentially what we're going to do is just put a little donk sound in here. So now what we'll do is we'll put this underneath the the fill. So we can always keep this channel here for our fills. And now it'll sound like this. Oh, I've done something a little wrong there. I don't fully know what I've done. Yes, I know what I've done. So when I've removed this, I've just put it out by 1. It can be easily done. Sometimes ever so slightly. You can just not put something in right. So if we just move that there, here we go. Now obviously that donk sounds a little bit quiet, you know. When you do your EQing and stuff, when you learn a bit more about that, you can make the donks sound better. But what I used to do was I used to clone my donks as well, copy and paste, and it'll just make the donk sound a little bit louder. Like that. Now that's just a simple donk bass, you know. You can change it up a bit, and you can go like that as well, and then you've got to do it on both channels as well. So you could go like this. So now when it comes in, for example, so if I just start it from here, you see now how it's doing kind of like a little bit of a thing. And then what we can do as well, if we wanted a vocal to start sort of instantly, you know, you might do, you might not, but just as a sort of quick example of something that I might do. So if I just go to desktop, I'll go into my folder called remix stems, and I'll just take a vocal out of one of these. So I'm just going to go, for example, out of here. Hypersonic doesn't matter. So let's have a look in here then. So we've got the vocal here. So obviously I'm going to drag it just here. It's going to obviously not sound too... It's going to sound out of time. Obviously we've got to put that in. Right, so that's obviously... Yeah, so obviously I'm not going to use that part of the vocal. I don't want to use that bit at the moment. So I don't want to use that bit either. Although that is obviously a key part of the song, but it would be. So obviously this is not at the moment at the tempo, so it's not at the right speed, so we can fit it to tempo, type in a BPM. I think this tune itself originally, I don't know if it's at something like 151 originally, I can't remember. You can search this up online if you do want to find the tempo of a tune, especially if you're doing a remix of something. It's always a good idea to obviously check the Right, so that is just out ever so slightly. So if we bring that there. So obviously, there you go right there. That is obviously, it's in time. It doesn't sound too good. Obviously, me personally, I wouldn't put a vocal straight there. Sometimes you can on some tracks. So sometimes it, and it will work. There is a tune done by Vinyl Vandal. It's a donk tune, and as soon as the bass comes in, they start on a vocal, and the way they've done it, it does actually work with the track, and it fits it very well. But you can have like little hype up vocals as well. So for example, like when we went back to here, so if I just sort of bring all of this back from here, so obviously we could have had it start with this, like here instead. So if I just zoom in, sometimes you've got to zoom in to really get the vocal perfect to how you want it. If that makes sense. So it's quite a hard task to do sometimes, but if you do zoom right in, you can really get the vocal how you want it. So you see there, just where that real little line is, just where that it doesn't matter starts fading in very slowly. So if we now play from here, I think perhaps maybe we're just going to bring it a little bit forward. And what I like doing, and what you obviously can do, is you can start, So what you can do is obviously you can have a player, you can sort of move it a little bit, and then you can have a play and see, and then move it again. So obviously, we can tell now that is too far forward. So essentially, it just needs moving back. Obviously, them little quieter ones, you just can't tell. You see, and there, it obviously starts, sounding in time. You can do a range of different things, and then just essentially your track will, it just builds on from there, obviously. Pianos, breakdowns, build-ups. If you already do know how to sort of play piano, you'll get a good understanding of obviously what is obviously, to how to sort of write one. Pianos, like I say in the roll, it's very simple. It's just a case of sort of knowing already, sort of, you've got your different notes, like, and then obviously, you just write your notes like you would, for a piano. So that's going to do it anyway. That's going to do it for this stream. I just thought I'd sort of basically show you over FL Studio, its capabilities, what it can do, etc. I'm going to cut this one short. I've actually got quite bad toothache at the moment, and I think doing a lot of streaming and talking just probably sets it back off. I've finally got a dentist appointment on Wednesday, believe it or not, and it was very weird because I'd say about 4 or 5 months back, I got this toothache, and it was average. It was painful, but it wasn't like mega painful, but it was a little bit annoying. There was one night where it really did give me a little bit of trouble, and I got told on some things to do, and I bit on something and kept it on sort of where the pain was, and just for a bit, and then it did eventually actually eased off. And then it didn't come back, and I just thought, the toothache's gone. And I don't like the dentist, me. If I don't go, I'm happy. Like, if I don't have to go, I'm very happy. Obviously, sometimes in life, you've got to go to dentists and things, unfortunately. So anyway, it disappeared. I thought no more of it. On that night where it did come like really, really bad, I was thinking at that point, maybe I am going to have to go to a dentist or something, because it had got like quite bad. And then obviously after I bit this thing, I can't remember what it was called, but it's something I've never heard of, or at least something I never even thought would like cure toothache as such. And I even brought some home with me, and then because the toothache never sort of came back, I think they just ended up getting thrown in the bin, and they were in like a little white, they got put in like a little white sort of plaggy, almost like little container thing for me, but I can't remember for the life of me what they were. So anyway, so this toothache sort of went away, and I didn't have anything of it for months or ages, and I just thought, hey, do you know what? I think that this, it's just gone. And then I was having my tea last Wednesday, ate my tea, absolutely fine, really enjoyed it. And then just shortly after eating my tea, I got this really bad toothache pain again. And then I thought, maybe I've just bitten something hard, or, maybe I've just caught something in a tooth or something, and, it'll just ease off, and, and it'll sort of go away. And lo and behold, it just sort of eased off, and it just got a bit better again. So thought really nothing more of it. And then the following day, on the Thursday, it came back again, only it came back 10 times worse. And on the evening, it got to the point where I was actually in like quite bad pain with it, to the point where at this point I'd actually made a note of it, and I'd gone downstairs to my mum, look, my tooth's hurting, got this toothache, and they said, we'll take a pain relief, blah blah blah, and like a paracetamol. My friend said, rinse your mouth out in salt water, and use Listerine and stuff like this. So I gave it a go, and lo and behold, it did ease the pain. Got a decent night's kip, and then the next day it was sort of there, but it wasn't there. It was a little bit on and off, but it wasn't too painful. It was a little bit painful, but wasn't like, super mega painful. So I was kind of just rolling with it. I had a gig at the weekend, so I wasn't, I was hoping that I could still make it, get to the gig. I was also thinking, if I have got something up with me and I ended up getting seen or being able to go to a dentist, it might have maybe stopped me from being able to attend the gig or something, if I had to have like, I don't know, like some work done in my mouth or something, or something pulled out, where I just might not have been able to feel like going anywhere. I would have had to sort of like rest up or something. I don't really know what the issue is, what it could ever possibly be. So Saturday came, gig day, and it was quite bad that day as well. It was sort of on and off a bit. It was quite bad in the afternoon. So I took a paracetamol and painkiller, pain relief, and so sort of eased it up a bit, but never really fully got rid of it. And then I was at the gig. I wasn't too bad at the gig. It was sort of there in the background, not sort of too annoying. And then I come away from the gig. I was getting some food after the gig, and it come out, and this was the worst at this point. This was the worst I'd ever had it. By this point, it come on like really bad, to the point where it was actually agony. It was really bad. I was eating this food, and I had to just stop eating the food, and I ended up like leaving half of it. And there was just nothing I could do. The pain was just that bad that I just went and laid down and just not cried myself to sleep, but I was in a lot of pain, and I just sort of pained myself to sleep, if you like. Then Sunday came, which was yesterday, and I woke up and the pain was a little bit better at first, and then I woke up. I was quite thirsty, grabbed myself a drink, and then the drink sort of set it off. And then just sort of from there on, the pain just was quite bad throughout the day. It sort of like kept coming and going. So like there'd be times where it'd ease off, where it'd kind of feel like it does now, where there's a slight little pain there, but it's not at the point where it's bugging me. And then it would come on, and there'd be like a really sharp throbbing pain. And then when I'm in that point where there's a real sharp throbbing pain, I can't do anything. Like I can't just sit down. I can't just sit still and relax. I can't help but sort of like pace up and down, or I feel like I've got to try and do something in that moment just to stop the pain, because it's just so bad. And this kept happening on and off. I was at my friend's house, and I normally stay and chill there for most of the day and just not rush, because we've been raving the night before. But got to about late afternoon, early tea time, and I just was like, look, I'm gonna have to go home. At this point, there's nothing I can do. It's about 10 to 5, and I just thought, I'm going home. It's just too bad. I'd even dozed off in their chair, and I wasn't feeling it at all. So I come back home. The pain was unbearable, so I came and got laid in bed, and I had another little sleep on the bed, believe it or not. And then I woke up, and the pain was just absolutely throbbing. It was just awful, and I could not settle. It was coming and going. I'd put the catch-up of Britain's Got Talent on, and I was watching it, but I had to keep pausing it because the pain was just so bad that I couldn't just physically fully sit there and watch it. And it was at the point where it was really doing my head in. It was really hurting. It was really coming back throbbing. It was just really not good. It was awful. To the point where I was making a disturbance. I was getting angry. I was banging. I wanted someone to do something in that moment, but obviously, like, there's nothing you can do. Because because there literally isn't really anything anybody can do. You really do feel like you're on your own in that moment, and when you see other people like just having a drink and enjoying a drink, and it's not making their mouth hurt, and then you kind of think like, yeah, I wish I could just have a drink without my mouth hurting. And I was kind of feeling a bit like that. I tried to eat some tea, and it just set the mouth off, and I'm thinking like, am I not even allowed to eat now? It come on really bad, to the point I think it got to about half midnight, 10 to 1. And I had to just had to ring 111 at this point. There was just, I could not take it. It was just getting too much. So I rung the 111. Luckily, it wasn't too busy on the line. I was about third in the queue. So I tried, I explained obviously me issues, and obviously, what I had going on. And all the dentists in Hull were sadly fully booked up. But they offered me one out of town, and I had to travel all the way to Scunthorpe, and they could have seen me today. Now the only issue is I had a couple of people that would have been more than happy to take me, but on the phone call at the time, they wanted like a direct yes or no. So I couldn't say like, give me a second, love, and I'll put the phone down and I'll ring you back. Because it wasn't that sort of kind of thing. Like, they had to know, like, right there and then. And because at the time I'd rung them as well, there was a certain person that I couldn't ring. Obviously, because it was quite late and, they'd be in bed. So I had to sadly say that I won't accept the appointment. But as soon as I got off the phone, I sent my mate a text, and would you take me through to Scunthorpe? And they told me to have a try ringing round some local dentists first. So today I rang about 5 different dentists, and You know, if you're not registered, you've got no chance of getting in. You know, you're completely screwed. So I'm sort of ringing these different dentists, emergency ones, and when you ring the emergency ones, they tell you to ring 111. And I'm thinking, well, I've directly physically rang you. My mouth is in agony. Like, is there like literally nothing you can do? And it's almost as well like the people on the other end of the phone, it's almost like they've got no sympathy for you. Like, you're ringing and your mouth is in absolute agony, and all they can say is, you know, if you're not registered with us, we can't see you. And I'm wondering, did he ever actually think, like, poor guy, his mouth must be absolutely in bits? You know, can we not just squeeze him in? He sounds in pain, he sounds distressed with it. But they just happily say, sorry, you know, nothing we can do. And I'm thinking, like, oh, there's got to be something you can do. So I rang round loads of dentists in Hull. I rang back the 111. The appointment at Scunthorpe had gone. Someone had already snapped it up, obviously. You know, it's 111. They get calls all the time. Didn't really expect it. So go on about my day. The pain sort of eases off a bit today. Go out. Decide just to get a little bite to eat. Get myself a drink because I'm a bit peckish. I'm a bit thirsty. Lo and behold, it sets it off again. Sets it off absolutely. Just screaming in pain. So my mate just says, look, ring the 111. See what they say. Whatever the outcome is, if you have to go somewhere out of town, drop me a text and let me know, and I'll take you. So I go back on the phone to the 111, and I'm on there for nearly 2 hours on hold. I was like 43 in the queue, and I just essentially waited about 2 hours to finally get seen to, which wasn't, like, I was deterred. Like, the lower we got down the queue, I was like, I'm gonna stick this out. I'm gonna wait. And I'm on the phone, and as I'm on the old, the toothache's coming on really bad, and it's throbbing. It's hurting quite bad, to the point where I'm like, you know, I want to cry at sometimes, because it just really does hurt. And it's just like, at this point, I'm taking like the pain relief, and it just doesn't even feel like it's doing anything. It's like the pain's just got that bad that it's overpowering. So obviously, I'm on the phone. I eventually get through, and they offer me an appointment at Scunthorpe on Wednesday. So I've finally got a lift sorted, and I'm going to that appointment. But the only annoying thing is I've essentially got like another day and a half to sort of like cope with this pain before I can actually get seen to, which is like quite a, like, I was hoping like they'd maybe say like go first thing in the morning, or we've got you an appointment tomorrow, or we've got you one later tonight. But obviously I know the dentists and things, they get quite busy, but I'm thinking, yeah, alright, it helps me out, but I've still got to sit like this for another couple of days. Like, you know, like, I'm ringing you now because I'm obviously in agony pain. Like, if I wanted to sit for another couple of days, do you know what I mean? Like, the pain wouldn't be that bad, like, if I was able to sit another couple of days. But obviously I've got to do. But the main thing is I'm going to get to the dentist. We're going to hopefully find out what the problem is. I think it might just be a hole, and I might need a little filling. I might need a bit of dental work done. Hopefully it'll just, it'll fix the ache and the pains, and hopefully it'll just sort of disappear, because it's quite annoying, like, especially like when every time you have a drink, it like sets it off. And you see other people, like, they make a brew, or you get themselves like a nice glass of milk, or was having food out today. My friend, he got a can of Coke, and I was thinking, you know what, I'd love a can of Coke right now. But I knew that it just wasn't gonna do me mouth any good. And then I eventually resorted into getting a drink, and it set the mouth off. And the thing is, I didn't rush the drink either. I just, I drank it as slow as I could, and kept it to the side of the mouth that wasn't hurting as much. And it just wouldn't do anything. It just would not stop it from coming on and hurting. I'm tried to chew my food at the other side of my mouth as well, and it hurt it. So even fatigue tonight, I had to resemble. I had to having soup, and I don't mind soup, but I'd never class it as something that that you'd have for your tea. I feel like I really feel like an invalid soldier, like a wounded soldier, having soup for your tea. Like someone in hospital who can't eat like proper solid foods. I feel like I've gone back to a baby, having to have liquid food. Just so it could help. I mean, I had one little piece of bread with the soup, which I suppose wasn't too bad, but I want me sausage and chips and me gammon and chips. I want to bite onto a good bit of gammon. I want to bite into a good burger, take a bite out of a nice slice of pizza, not have a slice of brown bread and a tin of Heinz tomato soup. I love me food. I'm a food guy. For like fatty food and fried food. I'm not the healthiest person, as I've probably spoke about on this channel before. But yeah, it resembled. I've even pulled out of a gig this weekend where I was emceeing, just because I wasn't really too sure what was going to happen. I might not have even been able to get an appointment till nearer the weekend, and if I'd had like dental work done, I might not have felt like going to the gig and being on the mic. And sadly, unfortunately, I just thought it's better for me to pull out. I've got other gigs coming up as well, and it'll give me a chance to just sort of like rest and prepare for them as well. Although I say rest, I'll probably end up going somewhere with the layman, but at least I'm not going to be on the mic and and using my mouth a lot, even though I'm talking now on stream. But like MCing and just being out in that environment, can be quite tiring on your mouth, definitely. And you're spitting a lot quicker as well. And I know, because it wore me out on Saturday from my gig, doing a bit of mic time as well. Really made my mouth ache. So obviously, it's just one of them things. But on the plus side, like I say, hopefully now Wednesday it is finally going to get sorted, or we can at least resemble what the issue is. We can try and relieve the pain, even if some work does need doing, or we can find something that other than the sort of like paracetamols and the I forget what you call them now, ibuprofen. Because a lot of people have said, like, take that, and I'm thinking, I'm fed up of just taking that. It's not helping. Is that all you can offer? I've looked at videos online, and they all say take them as well. There is other techniques that I've learnt as well, like when you're in bed on a night, prop your pillow up instead of being laid down, because apparently that makes the pain more worse. And again, there's the old cup of salt water remedy as well. There's like things you can bite and chew, and you can hold them sort of where the pain is as well. You can do that with a pain relief tablet as well. If you actually bite into it and you hold it where the pain is, some of the like sort of like dust powder, whatever you want to call it, inside of the tablet does actually like fall onto the tooth, and it will actually help it as well, believe it or not. Which I tried that. And to be fair, at the time it didn't really seem to help. It maybe did slightly, but the tablet just tasted absolutely awful. I'm not gonna lie, it was terrible. I hate the taste of it. And I'm not the best at swallowing tablets anyway. I just hate it. Like it's not just the pain. Like, I just hate the whole situation that I'm in. Like, I hate having to take tablets. I hate not being able to eat and have a proper drink without it setting the mouth off. It's just one of them really bad situations. And if you never have had toothache, I wouldn't recommend I wouldn't wish it on some of my worst enemies, because it really is. It's an awful pain. And I'm just hoping there's something that they can do, and I'm hoping it just also isn't like something too drastic where like half of my mouth's half of my teeth are going to have to come out or something, because you know, it is really causing a lot of pain in that corner, and it's sort of come back a little bit now. It had eased off. I had a bit of soup, and that seemed to be fine, and now it's just starting to sort of slightly come back a little bit, so either the pain reliefs are wearing off, or me talking on the stream has maybe sort of like set it off a bit. I'm not entirely sure, because, you know, I'm moving my mouth a lot. But anyway, that's going to do it for the stream. Make sure to like, comment, share, all of that good stuff, and we'll see you all hopefully in the next one.